Okay, we are live. Isn't that wonderful? I don't usually go live um, at this time of the day, but here we are. Let's see if I can. I don't know what happened with the microphone. It seems like I can't get it. Oh, there it is. I need it to be closer like that. Yes. Okay. This is going to be a somewhat dark topic. I want to remind everyone that even though I'm talking from personal experience, not everything I'm saying is about me. I just want to make that very clear. And even though I am 50 plus years myself, I, I'm not, this is not about me, okay? It's a general observation. And this is something that a lot of people in this age group are experiencing. And I think it needs to be talked about much more. And I want to say hello to Carola. Hi there. And Skål. And Kat and M1 Arc Zero. And Laura. Wonderful to see you all. I guess I had actually uh, a few weeks ago, I had an experience that made me understand more about myself. And this is going to sound, I'll just say it. Um, I'll just say it. And I think it will sound very harsh. And yes, this one, what I'm going to say now, is about me, but I think it's something that people can relate to. So during summer, the summer is mostly gone now, but I like to go and take a swim in the sea. I live by the sea. And I was doing that early one morning, and I foolishly, one morning when I came up from the sea, I stepped on a flat rock and I slipped and I fell on my head. That's why I can see the scar here actually on my forehead here. Um, and I don't know, maybe I was out for a second or so, and it was like, I rolled over on my back, and I honestly thought that I had cracked my skull, but actually, being a Viking, I cracked, possibly the rock or something. Something cracked. It was not my skull. And I thought, and it was like a feeling. I got this feeling that if I die now, it's okay. I- Not in a depressive way, but, and this is going to sound very strange. I had just finished the first edit of my new novel the day before, or was it that day, actually, before the swim. So I had done that, even though the book could be published like that. Um, and my kids have grown up, and of course I have the dogs, so I need to take care of the dogs. Uh, but I actually got that feeling for a little while that if I go now, it's not a tragedy. I've had a full life. Yes, it would have been a little bit too short for my taste, but it was such a, I never felt something like that before. Um, but I got up, obviously, and I'm here now. And I think that after having been the one who, always there for the kids, and also my career as a novelist, I've pretty much made enough money now, just about made enough money now that I could stop working now. I would be able to manage and put food on the table if I stopped working now. It would be quite frugal, but it would be possible. So all of that kind of made me think that how the hell, excuse my language, am I lying there at that rock, bleeding, thinking that it if I go now, it wouldn't be a tragedy. I've done what I need to do, and I'm that would be okay. So I'm not. It's not like I want that, but it would kind of not be a tragedy. 5 years ago, very different. I'm pretty sure that if I had had that accident 5 years ago, it would have been very different. I would not have felt that way. I think what this, for me, this personal experience points to something that a lot of people are experiencing when they, at least in their 50s, maybe if you have kids earlier in your 40s, you get this feeling that you're not needed. um, and it's a very sad feeling. It's a sad feeling, and you start searching for a purpose, and sometimes that can be difficult to find. And I actually listened to a video, a guy called Azul, American. He's into financial stuff, but he talked about his day because he had just retired, or retired a few months ago, I think. And he's a great guy. He's a great guy. Azul with a C. Uh, good, lots of good financial advice. But his day, to me, he described his day as a retired person. Um, it to me sounded so boring, and that it's like that kind of tells me something different. That I need to keep running. I need to keep going. I need to keep doing stuff. And I wish I was not like that, because I'm very tired. Most days I'm tired. But it's like I'm not done. Okay. So I'm like searching for a new purpose, if you will. And it can't all be work. Can't all be work. Now, add to this, and nothing that I'm saying here is special to me. I think this is something that people in this age group, you can relate to this, and younger if you had kids younger. But I think if you reach your professional goals, your income goals, and I it's like I have two houses, and I I, I hardly have any debt. Why is there a B there? Debt sounds like a word that someone. Debt sounds like something someone who can't speak is saying. Debt. So, but and again, I'm not saying that to brag. It's just that I've worked very hard, too hard for too many years, but I'm still not done, and I I see a problem with that, and the problem is not me. It's not you. It's society, actually, because okay, there is ageism. Um, well, Andy, you know him personally, Azul. Oh, yeah, he seems like a great guy. Um, where was I? Yeah, society has ageism, of course. But, it's like if you're in the 50s or 60s, it's difficult to get a new job, right? um, but I'm not looking for a new job or something new to do. It's like I like what I'm doing. I still feel that I need a purpose. But the problem is that I feel that society now has been, it's, what's the word? It's called calcified. It's rigid. Everything is rigged. You're not getting anywhere with anything. And you can try and you can, you know, work hard and you can reach for those goals, but it's like nothing matters anymore. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't, your efforts are not valued. That's how I see it. And in my mind, and honestly, in my, physically as well, I don't feel any age. I really don't. And I don't feel any different now from when I was in my 20s. Honestly, I don't know why. Maybe I'm lucky. So I'm not okay with the age thing. It it's so odd that we now have this society where it seems like it doesn't matter what you do, you're screwed anyway. And I can relate to young people now who are just kind of checking out, or they're trying to find alternative ways to find purpose and meaning and a good life. Because I honestly, the corporate life, climbing the corporate ladder, that's a joke. That's Don't do that. um and it's like, you know also, I will say, the culture, Western culture, has shifted and changed, and it's so fucking boring out there. And you talk to people, and this is after COVID. For some reason, people, it seems like they can't talk. They can't. It seems like they don't have a fucking thought in their heads. It's like a big difference since before COVID. so so I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'm sure I'm being a little bit dark and negative now, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. Um, and I think a lot of people, they feel alone now. Um, and they feel like it doesn't matter what they do, you know. I'm sure that's wrong. Of course it matters what you do, but it feels like it's all calcified. That's the best word I can find, actually. Rigid, and there's nothing you can change, and it's anyway. Okay. And there is a, there is, like, I saw a comment, and it's uh, because YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, they have made the creator studio so that you will see the three latest comments when you go on to creator studio to start a live stream or upload a video or whatever. And there was an idiot there who wrote, "So you know nothing about history." That was a comment on a previous live stream. And then I'm like, maybe I should get that degree in history, because I have a lot of interest in history, and I don't mind studying at all. Um, you know, um, but then let's see here. Ray says, "You get the degree, they say the same thing." Yeah, yeah. And I saw another one saying that. So you have a bachelor's degree in economics, and then they mentioned someone that was much better at me, apparently at everything. But then I thought, how annoying! I civil in Norwegian civil economy. That's a master's actually, but I've never tried to hide the fact that I did not finish my master's because I got the an offer for publication of my first novel. So I went for that instead, and I've been a novelist never since, ever since. Okay, um, let's see. I'll just Divina Duckworth says, "Money is just an illusion. Invest in real knowledge and skills." You know what? That's very true, and I find great joy in like doing things with my hands, like simple carpentry and stuff like that. I fixed the fence the other day, and I put up a fence with that was a small job, just um, things like that. I think it's very good that to do things like physical things. um, and I and also, should I say this? I don't know. I guess, okay, I'll say it. And don't take this the wrong way. I'm sure some people will. um, but it's something. There's something I miss. Um, there's something I miss. Now, I don't get me wrong. Stuff. I'm okay. Yes. I'll have another drink. This is not alcohol, by the way. Um, you know what I miss? I miss women. By that I mean I miss the way things used to be. Um, that social interaction with women, I miss that. Uh, and it's now I don't know how it is, but it's like obviously when I go to social settings, which I almost never do, the guys there, 40s, 50s, they're so boring. They sat down in their 30s and they kind of took shape after the sofa in their living room, like a big blob. And sorry, I'm being a bit cruel here. And the women have become so I don't know, not like they used to be. And I mean, I miss my partying days. I do. I miss that. Not like I was a crazy partying, like not in a bad way, but I miss that. I miss that. I miss that social interaction. Um, but now I have the, maybe this is wrong, but you know, I feel a lot of that partying now is, a lot of it has to do with they just want to get intoxicated in some way. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't go partying anymore at all. So, but that's just such a sad thing, you know. And I, yeah. So I miss that. I miss that. I miss that. And I don't think that's. I don't think I'm like I should be called a dirty old man for saying that. I don't think so. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. Um, and the social settings that I do have to go to are usually where I'm invited as a novelist, and then basically you're it's just work. It's a professional setting, you know. But I don't know. I don't know. I've had the great fortune of meeting a lot of fun women through my back in the days. Um, and I miss that, you know. I miss that. So, and I think that um, what a lot of middle-aged men do is they self-isolate. It's a common thing. It's a well-known thing that middle-aged men do. They self-isolate because they just had enough of the crap and the nonsense. Um, and it's natural. So you self-isolate. So you're not afraid of your own company, obviously. And then you self-isolate more and more, and that becomes your life. Um, and I think it might feel like the right thing to do, and you can go on YouTube and you can see these middle-aged guys. They say, I have no friends, I'm in my 50s, I have no friends, and this is why. And all of those videos, they practically have the same title, all of them, and they explain why. And I don't think it's a good thing. I do not think that it's wise, even not in the long term. um, so so that's how it is. Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah, self isolating, it comes with health uh, issues. Actually, that has been proven. Um, and I read some research on this. No, not the research itself, but an article or several about the research that has been done um, about uh, if you want to live long, you need to have a social life and a positive social life. And people who are alone, they don't live as long, actually. So better backwards says men now drink cocktails, women get tattoos and drink pints. A good observation. Yeah. Yeah, where are those pretty classy ladies? Where are they? Where are I get it. I'm a 53-year-old troll, so I get it. They're not interested in me, but I'm just curious. Are they still around? I mean, do they exist still? Because I remember those. I remember those. So, I'm not. This is just me thinking out loud. Okay, don't take what I'm saying here too seriously. Um, uh, I just wanted to kind of share some thoughts about this. Tatiana is. Oh, hi there. I recognize. Yeah. Hi there. Mr. Sorpos is here. This is apparently the time of day I should do these live streams. And I saw a video. I've been bored during the last few days because I finished my editing, my second round of editing my novel on Monday. And I'm used to working a lot, so I kind of, now what do I do? What do I do now? What do I do now? CJ says, very few ladies like that, the classy ladies. Well, I will say there are more of them in Europe than in the USA. He says, who has never been in other states than New York and California. So, but if you go to France, they're quite classy. They are. The French ladies are quite classy. They are. The Netherlands, Germany too, I would say. And these Eastern European countries as well. Russia, of course. Kat says that's not fair. I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair, and I don't know what I'm talking about, as I said, because I've only been to California and New York, and yeah. But it's like in Norway now, it's not good. I think I can say it's not good. I think that has to do with the social codes, and I think Norway is actually a country where there's a lot of pressure to put you back in your box, right? Like I'll give you one example. So, and I can see, by the way, I see these comments on my powerlifting vlog channel, linked to in the video description. But that was when many years ago, when I was 40, I was told, now that you're 40, you're not going to be lifting heavy weights anymore in the gym, are you? And I was like, what? Of course I am. Now is when you need to do it. Now it's really important to do that. So so it's like it's an attempt to put you into that box. Oh, now you're 40, you're middle-aged now, and you're not supposed to lift heavy weights. And this goes into a lot of things. There's a cultural component here as well. It's different in other cultures. I know, for instance, in Russia, the men age very quickly, actually, and they're supposed to kind of get on board with a don't take your health seriously thing. So yeah, lots of people saying that California, New York is not representative of the USA, and you are probably very correct. You're probably very, very correct. Yeah, Stuf, yes, Norway is changing, and I think a lot of things here are changing. It's a big topic. It's a big topic. So, Lady Gracious says, I am Australian but live in Germany. I have noticed that the pride in appearance has dropped dramatically the last few years. Yeah. I kind of I'm noticing the same, but I shouldn't really talk about that, because when I go to the grocery store, that's all I do. I go to the woods and my boat and the grocery store to buy meat, and then I'm annoyed. They used to have this big piece of meat and beef, and I don't know, they don't sell that anymore. They do sell meat, but not the one that I like with marinade on it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Now I'm lost my train of thought here completely. Please remind me. Divina, no. Laura, do Norwegian women take their husband's last name when they get married? Yes, I think they normally do. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So when I go to the grocery store, I look like something that was thrown into my closet and through the closet and out the other side, and I just grabbed some clothes on the way through the closet, and that's what I'm dressed in. And so I really shouldn't talk at all, but I will say this. No, actually, I was very lucky. Maybe I should get out more, but you know how it is. But I saw a really classy woman, nicely dressed, slim, very tall. She looked like a supermodel the other day in the grocery store, and I was standing there in my gym pants and a hoodie with a black hoodie with covered in white dog hair, and I probably stared at her like an idiot, because it's not often I see that anymore. And I saw another one actually a few days before that. Yeah, and I remember those. That's how few and far between they are, actually. Maybe I should put some effort into how I look, and even just going to the grocery store, you know. But yeah, when it comes to these classy ladies, I know one when I see one, actually. Yeah. But I'm going to see some classy ladies in a few days, because I will be doing a mini tour in Norway, promoting my novel, and my Norwegian publisher, uh, most of them are women, and they will of course be very nicely dressed, and they know how to behave among other, normal people and all of that. So they kind of take you by the hand, and then they put you in a chair. Oh, sit there and sign your books and stuff like that. So yeah, so they will be looking very classy, absolutely. uh, and yeah, it's not about makeup. It's not about makeup. It's more about I don't know what is a classy look. What's a classy look? I'm so old now, so it means um, yeah, I'm. It to me it means something different from what it means to someone who's like 25, I guess. Um, and yeah, no, to me it means someone. Um, I'm not going to talk about a classy look for a man because I honestly don't even know or care. But I think for a woman, it's like I think someone who comes across as she takes care of her health and body, not very overweight, not covered in these piercings and tattoos, and I've talked about that before. I think that's the opposite of classy. Um, and I see them sometimes with like it's like creeping up into the face and stuff now. It's completely insane now. But yeah, clothes that look like they fit, and all of that. So that's kind of what I think is classy. I can't define it better than that. Uh, yeah, Dean Brown, yes, the natural look. You would be actually, you should come to Scandinavia because um, a lots of the girls here they go for the natural look. It's I think they call it the Scandinavian look. So if you like that, then you would be a very happy man here. uh, so, but again, I I look like crap when I go out into the grocery store. You know, uh, so are we into the nose ring theory again? It's trending. It's trending on YouTube, I think. Uh, yeah, the idea is that the women with a ring in the nose, they are a bit crazy and difficult and all that. I actually saw a video about that after I made what was it before my live stream on that, and there had been done research on that actually. So that was funny. Yeah. Um, let's see here. Yeah, yeah, it's been the nose ring theory. It's been commented on a lot. Oh, hi there, my friend. Yeah, this is not the most. This live stream started in a very kind of dark place. I guess that was not my intention. I just wanted to explain to you, and I'm sure you can relate. Um, but I think that we like on a more light-hearted note. I think that something should be said about the lack of people being classy, and I'm sure that women here have some ideas of how they would like men to dress and behave and all of that. Because it's like I'm pretty sure that if you see someone with the pants down their butt, I don't know if is that out of fashion now. I honestly don't know, but it used to be very fashionable. It's not classy, is it? Um, yeah. So okay, it's not a thing anymore. Okay. I know I know the prison code actually from the pants down. I know. So yeah. Okay. Seamus says, girl in front of me last week in airport was Scandi. I could tell by her voice. Tall, black haired, very beautiful in a natural way. Yeah, isn't that nice? Laura says, I like clean, casual clothes for men. Uh, Daily Wigbite says, alas, it's still a thing in the States and it's disgusting. That's the pants down, is it? Um, oh, yeah, it did. The pants down. Every bad thing from other countries, usually from the USA, it seems to reach Norway after a while. That's just a law of nature, it seems. So when something crazy happens in the USA, it's going to get here. But I will say the woke stuff, it reached Norway so late that didn't really it didn't get to catch on properly before it was over in the USA. And I think the woke stuff is kind of over in the USA now. And now it's the left is trying to push the woke agenda now like crazy, leading up to the election next month. And I think it's going to be they're in for a they're going to be taught a lesson. A reality check. They're going to have a reality check because they're going to nosedive. It's going to not go the way they want. So let's see here. Let's see. Stuve says, to be fair, Norway felt for me as being 3 weeks in the 90s. It's crazy here in the Netherlands. Yeah, I've been in the Netherlands twice. Just traveling through. So but I yeah, I think people were very nice there. Yeah. So we are going to talk about what I was planning to put in the title, but I didn't for some reason. A Scottish girl, I'm not sure if she's 12 or 14. She pulled out a small axe and a big knife. to defend her sister, I believe, against some young immigrant men. Now she has been arrested for that. I won't try to sugarcoat it, okay? These people that are harassing these girls are almost always men or boys, however you see it, from Muslim cultures. Okay, that's how it is, and the reason is that those cultures see women or girls who are not covered up as victims. That not victims, but it seems like they see them as unclean, or they're allowed to harass them because they're not covered up. That's their culture, okay? And it's disgusting. There is also the fact that in those cultures, most of them at least, what we Western people see as children, they see as potential rape victims. Okay, there is such a big difference, and I mean, do we really have to ask why? It's just the way it is. It's two different cultures. They see a 12-year-old girl as an object of sexual desire, and to me, it's it's so different from us. Okay, it's it's so different. We do not see it that way because we have a name for that. It's pedophilia, and we put those people in prison. And it provokes me a lot. Now, I will, since I started out on a personal note, I will also add some personal experience, tell you a little bit about my personal experience with people like that. Right now. Now, I grew up in Oslo, in the suburbs of Oslo. And as I grew up, that was the 70s and 80s, right? We had two gangs that established themselves, criminal gangs made out of immigrant kids. And those were, as far as I know, the first gangs in Norway, not like in a historical sense, but the first two gangs, like immigrant criminal gangs. Now, I'm not saying that all immigrants are criminals. That should be obvious. But those gangs established themselves, and I lived kind of right in the middle. And they were on each side there. And so on one occasion, and I was not in Oslo that day, they filled a bus, one of these gangs, or the associates, so to speak. Well, actually, I don't know if those were the gangs themselves, but immigrant boys filled up a bus, and they drove that bus to a crossroads right where I actually previously had been living, next to the crossroads. And they did that to get hold of one guy, a white boy, who had I believe, made some um, become the boyfriend or some of a girl that was seen as the property of these immigrant boys. So there was actually a big battle in the crossroads there with weapons, not shooting weapons, but clubs, knives, stuff like that. And this is back uh, late 80s. Okay. And then, of course, the same area, the people who worked in the municipality there, they were worried about uh, the youth in the area because some brats had painted swastika at the bus stop. Okay, are you following me here? So that was their focus of attention. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to paint a swastika in the bus stop, but I would be more worried about a fucking bus filled with kids, well, teenagers with clubs and knives and axes. I would be more worried about that. So uh, when I was about to become a father many years later, we decided that it was time to move out of Oslo because of the immigration problem. I will say that during the years after, they kind of closed the borders as to Norway for immigration. Not really closed, but compared to Sweden, it's the immigration to Norway from certain countries has been very, very small. Um, and it needs to be said that things like looking down from the apartment into um, the bins where the grocery store, they threw away their food after closing hours, and then you would have the guys working at the kebab kitchen. They would come there and pick up the meat and stuff and use that. So I mean, and that's my personal experience, and I avoid Oslo now, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't think this is a racist thing to say. It's obviously not, because a lot of the people who are trying to point this out and point these problems out have a cultural background, second or third generation immigrants. They are trying to point this out. And you will find people who are second and third generation immigrant in what would be called the right-wing parties who are trying to strike down on this. And but anyway, in the UK, this problem is much, much, much worse, of course. And so I've seen the video. This girl, I'm not sure if the girl with the axe and the knife is 14 and the sister is 12. I think that must be how it is. But you can clearly see that these people are they're following her. And it might be that they are trying to provoke some reaction. But you can see that this girl, she feels threatened. It's disgusting to see. First of all, this should never happen. This should never happen. And if I had seen that, not, the axe and the knife. I think that's you can understand why she's desperate. She's trying to do something to change the situation. This is in Scotland. She's trying to change the situation. I don't know the nationality of the people who are following them or harassing them. But those people who are harassing, if someone's harassing kids or women, or I think it's your duty as a man to go over there and tidy up that situation. And you know what I mean by that. I have. And now they put this girl who pulled out the axe and the knife. They've hold on, what did they do? The police, yeah, they have charged her. They charged her, and I'm like, fucking hell, what's going on here? But this is the UK, and the English, the Welsh, uh, the Scots, everyone, all the native peoples of the British Islands, they have been let down by their government. This government, the former government, the government before, and it's disgusting because, as I said before, I've been to the UK many times. I love England. Uh, I've been to Wales as well now, and I really like the cultures, the people, but I can sense that the people there are tired now, and they've been pushed too far now, and I think that this one, the riots now, it's going to end in a horrible way, and I don't think that the government will be able to control this because it's gone too far, and people are just so fed up now. And yeah, so that's the UK. Um, to the Americans here, I will say, first of all, I think the JD Vance stunts are disgusting. He's a fucking bastard and a liar. I will say that very kindly, so that you don't get me wrong here. But I will also say to the Americans here that it seems to me that you will have to keep up some standards of freedom of expression, your rights. I mean, what I'm trying to say that it's not like America is going to save us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say that the UK seems to be going down. They have to go down a very dark path now. Um, um, and if we can have at least one country where the people can keep their freedoms, that can serve as a reminder of how it should be, right? And maybe at the moment, among the Western countries, maybe the USA is closest to that. Um, maybe. I'm not sure, but maybe. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's wrong. But anyway, Yeah, I hate to see what's happening in the UK now. Yeah, allow yourself to be disarmed and all of that. It has nothing to do with that. That's a big discussion. Guns, guns, guns. I said the magic word. So that's not going to change anything. It's more the attitude, and it's more the eating away of your freedoms slowly, and that's what we are seeing in that has happened in the UK now. But it's gone too far. So I think what's going to happen in the UK is that the people who feel the most let down by the government and society, that will be the uneducated, working class, white young men. They have nothing to lose. They feel that they have nothing to lose, and they will be roaming the streets looking for people with a darker skin complexion, and they will beat them up, right? That's the worst case scenario, right? But it's not going to be a be pretty or morally right or anything like that. It's going to end poorly. That's what I'm seeing. Um, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Uh, so let's see here. Okay. Hunter X Angler says, got an elk hunt next month. How's that for freedom? I don't know. The hunting starts here in 16 days, I believe. And it lasts until Christmas almost. And I hate that. I hate it because not of the hunting itself, but because of all the fucking idiots who will be driving their cars and ATVs out into the forest, sitting there shooting at everything they see, drunk as hell. Yeah, because we have a lot of those people, sadly. Yeah. It's very difficult to talk about the thing happening in the UK and these young men going around harassing women and girls. It's very difficult to talk about because I'm on YouTube now, and I what I want to say I really can't say. Well, I think I can let me put it this way, okay? If that was my daughter and I was nearby, if I saw something like that, the level of violence would be almost difficult to imagine for normal people. And I would be in prison for a very long time. And I think this kind of ties into what I said here about purpose, and there's this meme, I guess, that the most dangerous men are the, middle-aged men, because they have pain everywhere. They're sick and tired of everything, and they have nothing to lose, and they just want an end to it all. Uh, I don't know. We are a bit. As you age, you get a little bit slower. Um, so, I used to do Muay Thai, and that's a sport. Well, I don't want to call it a sport, because it's basically just about beating people up. Um, but there, when you're 30, you already at that age, you're starting to get too slow. Um, at least for, against other trained fighters. So in your 50s, you you know, um, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's easy to be tough when you're sitting like I'm sitting here, But I know this about myself, that it's sometimes, you just you just have to take a risk, and you have to risk becoming very, very injured, because you have to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing. Um, so okay, let's see here. Um, yeah, this girl, she showed them an axe and a knife, and uh, she has already become a symbol of resistance. And it's not a big mystery why. Your government in Scotland uh, can't deal with this. So we have a 12, or was it 14-year-old girl, defending her sister like that. It shouldn't be like that, because when you're just a kid, you should be. You know what? You should be. It should be like it was when I grew up. You could just walk outside, and I'm not saying that nothing bad ever happened back then, but we didn't have uh, young men following little girls around, harassing them. I that was not a thing. So yeah. Uh, let's see. Tyrdom says, and you are in Sweden, I can say that, I believe. And Sweden is worse than Norway when it comes to these matters, but um, you're saying that our governments should be ashamed of what they've done to our countries. I agree. I can't blame people for searching for a better life, but volumes matter, and these are our countries. Yeah. I've always felt that we should help refugees, um, proper refugees. We should first and foremost use some of our money, and that's taxpayers' money, some of that to help those people in the areas close to their countries, close to the areas that they are fleeing from. They don't necessarily have to come to our country. And in addition to that, I think that we should let people come here who have like medical issues, sick children, and so on, so that they can get treatment here. That's my opinion, and I think that's the right thing to do. And in addition, there are cases where you need to have people coming that have what's it called, specialized knowledge and certain skills, like the women from Ukraine. They were very welcome here for a period of time because they needed more people in the outskirts of Norway, and so they just put them in houses there. They were given houses. So but the mass immigration, I do not believe that is a good idea. I think it's going to end poorly. When a culture changes, it changes, and that will result in victims, right? um, yeah, you may disagree, but I think that if there is some people in a country like Gaza now, let's say they have kids that have been injured by the Israeli war criminals' bombs, I think that we should absolutely fly them here to Norway, help them recover, medical help, and all of that. I absolutely think that we should do that. That's high on my list. High on my list to do that. You know why? Because it makes us better human beings. That's something that I gladly pay tax for. But there are many other things that I do not gladly pay tax for. A long list. Like, for instance, those of you who are in the USA, how do you feel about your taxpayers' money going to Israeli weapons? Do you think that's a good use of taxpayers' money? You know, so no, okay. The situation in some of these municipalities in Norway. Now, I know I should not say counties, but municipalities. Is that there are not enough people there, so with empty houses, the houses are just empty, and so they were given houses. Some of these Ukrainian refugees, and they very quickly kind of become part of the local community. And so in those places, they don't have enough people for positions in healthcare, schools, kindergarten, and stuff like that. So they were kind of wanted in those areas. But now it's not like that anymore, because all those houses, there are no more vacant houses, I believe. So there, yeah. So it's to keep, why do we want to keep these municipalities, these areas of Norway that are far out in distant places? Why do we want to keep those local communities alive? I think that's a very important thing to do. And we do that because the alternative is that the cities become very large, and large cities are not good for anything. They breed crime and lots of horrible things. Um, Ray is asking again if they're renting them. I don't know if they're renting them, but what I heard is that they are given these houses. And you're writing that get free real estate in one of the most expensive countries on the planet. Well, if you check out those prices in those areas, you will find that those houses are very cheap because nobody wants to live there. So, yes, if you come to an area like where I live, it is very expensive. But if you move like up in the north of Norway, the houses are very cheap. So, so this is the thing, right? Uh, so yeah, it is the same in Sweden. I know, but in Norway, the policy has been for years now that they are doing their best to keep those local communities alive, and I think that's a good thing. I think, if I dare say so, that has been handled better in Norway than in Sweden, because in Sweden there are a lot more of these ghost towns where nobody lives anymore. uh, well, thank you, Stoof. That's kind of you to say. So Carola says, I really think about buying one of those cheap houses in Norway or Sweden. Yeah, some people do that. There is a place here called Little Netherlands. No, Little Amsterdam. No, Little Netherlands, I think. It's because so many Dutch people moved there. So, and there are quite a lot of Dutch people that moved to Norway, maybe Sweden as well, because they want to get away from all the people in the Netherlands and be out in nature and all of that. Um, so yeah, I had a look again at a buying a farm. What do you call it? These small farms. That's called a småbruk. We say. What's it called in English? A small farm. Anyway, so I now and then yeah, like a homestead. Yes. But that's what everyone wants. So of course, we have this search, this property search site, and homestead, Norwegian word for homestead, is the most searched for word, right? Because that everyone wants or small holding. Yeah, people want that. And now I've been walking up to the horses quite often through the summer because they are out on the field behind my house. And the horses are my friends. So now I want a horse again. I haven't had a horse before, but I've kind of wanted a horse for as long as I can remember. Um, but then, I don't want a horse to be in a stall all the time. So I thought, okay, I'll buy a homestead for the horse. And I checked the prices, But yeah, still expensive. Still expensive. So yeah. Yeah, I've heard horses are actually more expensive than a boat, and I already have a boat. Yeah. Hobby horsing. Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't say this, but one reason to get a horse is that I live in a very dog friendly neighborhood. Lots of people have dogs here, but there are some that don't like dogs, and they one of them have put up a sign that says basically, don't let your dog poo here. Now, if you're a civilized human being, you do pick up the what your dog leaves there on the grass there, okay? So it shouldn't be a problem, but and you send it to the king, as I used to say to my kids when they were small. Um, but anyway, how fun would it be to get a giant horse and have it feed it, lots of treats and stuff like that, and then ride past that house with that stupid little sign, and then hopefully the horse does his or her business right there by the sign. The sign would be covered, basically. How that would be very funny. That's reason enough to have a horse, if you get my meaning. But anyway, yeah, I used to say send it to the king. Yes, with that little plastic bag with the little thing that the dog left inside. Yeah. uh, yeah, horses. Yeah, yeah. It's not so easy to have a horse here where I live, actually. And I have, of course, looked into that in detail, concerning my body weight and all of that. And I know people will say, no, you're not too heavy for a horse, but actually, recent research that has been done on that is quite points to the fact that if you're my weight, you're not, you shouldn't really ride a normal horse. It's They can handle it, but it's not good for the horse. It just isn't. So, but yeah, it, yeah, Clydesdale. One of those would be very nice, or a Shire horse. Yeah, I really like those. But anyway, I have nowhere to keep a horse, and I don't want to put a horse in you know, confined most of the day. No, I don't want to do that. I think that's wrong. Uh, yeah, ride a pig. Well, I will say that there is a sanctuary for farm animals down the road here. I have mentioned those before. They are vegans, a vegan couple, and they take care of farm animals that they rescue these animals, and I have so much respect for those people. They are really good people. And they also have several pigs, and two of those pigs are really, really big, really big. And yeah, so it's like first time I saw those pigs, I thought I didn't think that they could get that big, but they are like mini tanks, you know. They are huge. So, um, yeah, to them, hunting and vegan, I think I, yeah, I'm not a vegan, but I'm not against hunting. I support people who choose to be vegan, and I'm not against hunting if it's done the right way. You know, very often it's not done the right way. That's the tragedy. We have a case now in Norway with one of these disgusting celebrity, what do you call it? Reality celebrities, basically just a brat. And he's been, listen to this, he was caught in Sweden, yeah, with some other idiots chasing a female bear, what do you call that? Female bear with um, cubs. And they shot the female bear, the bear mother, and the cubs. That's illegal. But yeah, they did that, and now he says, "No, I didn't shoot. The other ones shot," and they are blaming each other, you know. And I'm like, what kind of creep does that? You're chasing you you're chasing bear cubs on an ATV and shooting them. What kind of, is it possible? Is it possible to be lower on when it comes to ethics and morals? I don't think so. Could be 6 years. I hope so. Oh yeah, he is Norwegian, and can't remember his name. I think my mind works in such a way that it kind of blocks out these things. Mm. Yeah, the worst thing is that he filmed himself, talking to his fans on, I guess, TikTok or something like that, and he has this his attitude. He has this attitude and this fucking punchable face. Sorry, that's just the truth. But yeah, now he refuses everything. But the Swedish police, found the skin from a bear cub in his apartment. That's kind of points to that he's kind of guilty, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I think the mama bear was shot first, and then they post. I'm not sure of the details, but there's at least one picture. He's posing next to a bear that was shot, and they put the managed to get the beer into the back of their pickup truck and all of that. So, Ray, I see where you're coming from. You're one of those guys, are you not? So you're writing the Swedish can afford to investigate beer fur, but those other problems not so much. Yeah, okay. I'll just leave that comment there for everyone to see. Okay. Yeah, I really hope that he will serve time, but most probably there will just be a fine. But I don't know. I don't know. But you kind of know for sure that when these people have done this, they've done other things as well that um, are not good. Okay, it's just that this time they were caught. Um, in fact, a lot of these killers that we have had here in Norway, they have actually had background in the hunting community. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. That is the truth. And we just had a very, very tragic case. We had an 18-year-old kid, white, by the way, who shot and killed an employee in, well, a governmental employee. And probably racism was the motive because she was, I don't know, African or something. Um, and uh, yeah, so I don't get me wrong with what I'm saying now, but when you when you have these problems with immigration, you will also get people who develop racism, and they believe that everyone who is not white should die. So that the, I'm not saying that they should be excused for believing that because of the problems. I'm saying that that comes with it. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, Carola says that who is cruel against animals is easily cruel towards humans as well. Yes, yes, that is very true. And another topic here, I've got several questions now. Do you support the Norwegian royalty or monarchy? I do not. I do not. Absolutely not. We don't need a monarchy. We have a constitution. We could have this could be a republic very easily. Yeah. But anyway, okay, I have been talking for far too long. Okay. Ray, if you're going to be at this is just a message for you, okay? I see what you're writing. And then, you don't have to be here, and if you want to come back next time I do a live stream, just reconsider what you are contributing with in the community here, okay? Because we don't like haters. Okay. So yeah, but I have to go because I have to make dinner. Um, okay, Ray. I'll save you the trouble, Ray. Let's see. Goodbye. Yeah. Are we okay? Everyone's okay here. Yeah, to them that's constructive criticism. That's one thing. Spewing nonsense is another thing. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, as I said, I have to make dinner now, and I'm 1 hour delayed in that. So yeah, I have to do that. My son is probably very hungry now. Now I'm hungry too, and I'm going to have it will be steak today. Okay. Have a wonderful evening or day, and we will speak soon. Make sure to check out the video on my main channel on Saturday. And now YouTube, I have to tell you this. Cameron, thank you. um, I have to tell you, YouTube is rolling out. Forgot to say that, of course, the hype thing. Have you? Do you have the option to hype this at all? Can you see something like that? It says hype. I'm asking because these things are rolled out in Norway last, usually. Anin Tupa says, oh, yes. Carola, if you can't see it, it's probably not out in Germany yet, but apparently you get 3 points each week, and you can use them to hype a video. So what I'm asking is that maybe if you can save one of those points, maybe for my video on my video on the main channel on Saturday. No, I think it's free. 3 hype points for free. That being said, what about YouTube? What about if you go back to actually caring about when people subscribe to a channel? It should be very simple. No, I'm not on TikTok, but I'm pretty sure that people on TikTok have stolen lots of my material. Yeah. But okay. Yeah, I will get back to the hype thing when I know what it looks like. Oh wow, Carola, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, when it comes to the hype thing, I think I will understand how it works when I have access to it on YouTube in Norway. Yeah. Okay. Super stickers. Yes, there are super stickers here. Yeah. But I have to go now. I'm sorry. So we'll talk soon. Okay. Bye bye.